have a live audience today, Colby. This is weird.
I was just watching something the other day. Man, I would love to like perform like a TV show in front of an audience, just the acting portion. It would be so much fun because those comedies, the way that they work, living off that crowd energy would just be so much fun.
So is Chris still a hype man or is Mike the hype man then? I think Chris thinks it's a Aidan, are you a hype person, man, woman, whatever?
Yeah.
Never gonna shut us up, as usual. Let's go ahead and get into it. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the On the Brink podcast. My name is Matt Brinker. This is Colby Lykins, and we have Kelly Wiley with us this week. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
I'll give you just a quick. I won't steal your thunder. Just a quick. Kelly, if people don't know, is another here at the brewery, and I've known you for a little over a year now. Like we met. She came in from the North Eye Collab, and I think that's when I first met you, and that's when I just got my camera and was just starting, so you've kind of seen the whole evolution of me and learning and all that stuff, so thank you for being on. You're one of the first people that Colby and I mentioned, and we're a little later than we wanted people on here, but thanks for the time. Colby scheduled everybody quickly, mostly at the bar after being intoxicated.
No.
They're all just like, they come up, someone the other day came up to me and we were talking and he scheduled to be on there. And he's like, so which day am I scheduled? And he thought it was a week later. I was like, well, it's probably a problem when you schedule whenever you're drinking alcohol. So
Yes.
I need to work on not scheduling people when they're in the middle of drinking.
Yeah, let's schedule people sober.
Yeah.
Always. So Kelly, give us the 50-second introduction. Who are you? What do you do? And
Wow, 50 seconds. Okay.
exactly 50 seconds.
Small town girl. I grew up about 35 minutes north of here. Graduated from Capital University. Landed in Chillicothe for a while. Moved down here. I was in the corporate world, and we really didn't have any place to fit in to the job of what I was doing. I worked in a hospital, which was great. But
I did not know that.
I did.
I also didn't know you were not from Jackson.
No, I'm not. Did not. I was actually moved here about 15 years ago. Was not from here. Went to Capital. Went to Capital. Landed down this way, and had 3 small children. Decided to stay at home, be a home mom for a while, and I just got the itch to do something. And I was a marketing director, and a physician recruiter at a hospital for many years, and loved it. Just wasn't the fit for down here for us in deal. And I decided I wanted to do something, and kind of got the itch for real estate, and got my license when my youngest was 1 year old, and took it from there.
So, how many years ago was that then?
Ooh, okay, so my youngest is almost 14.
Jeez,
Yeah.
13 years ago.
It doesn't seem like it, but yeah, I've been doing it for a while. I've been doing it for a hot minute.
I've never done anything for more than like 5 years. Like, at least in one spot. I think the longest I've been in one spot was 5 years. And I've always bounced around doing different things, and so I've always been at my
The good thing with what you do now is at least you can move and do it pretty much whatever.
yeah, that's true. The thing you have a client base on stuff too, which is why I don't do it here in the near future. But I'm just starting to get to the point where I know what I'm doing, and if I have to move now, then I don't have anybody know what I'm doing still. Then you
Well,
gotta
you
redo
know,
all.
ironically for me, I've always kind of been kind of a gypsy. But to
Yeah.
stay someplace for a long period of time, my parents would laugh at me. I always wanted to do something different and hop into different activities, and I have just had a passion from the rip for real estate.
Yeah.
I've never lost it.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
So, and backstory, I've done a bunch of front post photography for you. That was, actually, I think you were the first one. I think I worked for the guy named Guy first.
You did, yeah.
And then did a bunch of stuff over spring, summer, fall for you. And then that's all I've done. Actually, one reason why I bought some of the equipment I have so that we can do more stuff in the future, the stabilizer and some of the lenses. You haven't got to use any of my good new camera. Wasn't around last fall. The lenses weren't around last fall. Stabilizer wasn't around last fall, so it's a whole new setup for me.
Yeah, you did some drummer for us as well. So.
It's been a lot of fun. Thank you as always. We have 2 of the owners here, so it's kind of weird to be like, thanks for all.
Yeah, we can actually like PR things.
Hey, thanks guys for allowing us to film here on Tuesdays when we're closed and drink beer. Thanks as always to the unofficial sponsor of 6th Brewing and the owners. We appreciate being allowed to use the space. I posted a video of Dallas Pack earlier today, the brewery sessions we did. And he did a fantastic job. I've got to kind of do we talked last week that last weekend was our 2-year anniversary. The brewery hit record numbers of sales, record numbers of tips.
This is fun night.
Mike said it looked seamless. It didn't feel very seamless or very easy.
I was sweating like crazy.
Colby was sweating.
I was sweating like crazy.
I was frustrated and moving quickly and almost falling over. It was just
Because you were managing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was super impressed, and I think that from the outside looking in as an owner, it was such a relief to me that I could come up and just have fun and watch everybody and make everyone for being here. And our first year, I mean, I was
bar
backing
Yes.
the first year.
Yeah, because we were talking about that. The first year, Jennifer was here all day, and they were doing deep frying chips next door. And like her main job, really, because we were so busy, was like she'd go back and forth bringing chips, and Mike and Kelly were bar backing. And it was Cody, Grant, and I were the only 3 bartenders, and they were on all day. And it was nuts. It was busier than that because we had back open this time, so we learned from that, and there were people back there.
Right.
And yeah, it still got packed up in here, but it wasn't as busy as it was. They got to a point last year where Jennifer couldn't get in or out of either door or around. She had to go.
I remember that.
Yeah, she had to go outside and around through our shanties and back this way to be able to get into the bar because you couldn't get here at all. And it was a good night. It was actually a lot of fun. There were some hiccups along the way. They were handled quickly. But it was kind of, like Mike said, we made it look easy. It was like, okay, it didn't feel easy. Running around with people out of the box.
You guys did a phenomenal job, and it felt good, and it was. We had great people here. Mike and I were talking about the fact that there were people here that we had never really seen before, and it's just nice. It's just nice to see the nice mix of everyone and good friends, good family, and it's a good time.
And people enjoying your beer too.
Yeah.
I mean,
you don't understand how proud I am of Mike, and I get to go home with that guy every night, and like that, to see someone so passionate about what they do for a living, and he gave up so much to do this, and I just I'm grateful, and I get to drink it, so I'm pretty. I feel pretty special.
We get to enjoy it.
Yeah.
That is the cool thing, because I think sometimes I lose sight of that too, because the reason why this place exists is the beer, and there's a lot of things around it now. We've got beer club, and we've got the food and all that stuff, but like the beer is what started this whole thing, and that's what the passion that started this whole thing.
And at the end of the day, it's what brings people in the doors.
It does,
right?
And that's the coolest thing too. Is I've talked to Mike a bunch about it off and on, and Jamie, and I think we've talked about it here and there. Like people that come in and go, "Oh, I heard or I had your beer here, or I had this or whatever," and it's so cool that this is something bigger than just this spot here. And this is the main location, obviously, but this is bigger than just 6 Cents Brewing at 175 East Main Street. It's in Columbus, it's in Dayton, it's all over Ohio, and people get to try it, sample it, and it brings people in here, and it's a cool community. I don't know if you've ever messed with Untapped. Have you ever messed with Untapped?
No, I actually saw the thing in the bathroom, and I was like, I need to download that.
Yeah.
I would love
That's a great app.
that. Yeah.
There's a whole community behind like craft beer.
I hear people talk about it in the bar all the time. I just didn't
people
know exactly
rate it.
what
And
it was.
what's the release up to, Mike? 4.3? 4.4?
Wow.
Yeah, 4.3, 4.4. Anything above 4, I believe, is like we're doing a good job. And I think the total brewery is somewhere around 4.
Wow.
I think we're rated right around 4 overall. 398. Mike knows the exact number.
That's awesome.
Up to date by the minute. He's like got a ticker.
We were dating for almost a year before I downloaded the Untapped app. I refused to do it. And we would spend our weekends going around drinking in different breweries and just enjoying life. And he was always,
checking beers
in. I'm like, that's not cool. And then finally I'm like, okay, because I saw what I could do is I could trace and track the beers I was drinking, so I could figure out what style I liked.
Yes.
So it was really, really good for me to start doing that. And I really don't check in a lot anymore. And I drink different types. I just don't want them to think that I'm rating them for different reasons.
Yeah.
But,
I think that when you become a brewer or an owner of something like that, I think that you have to be wary of that. Like, I'm going to tend to rate our stuff higher because I like it. I am a little bit biased, but I mean, I don't want that to bleed into Untapped. That's why one of the reasons why I haven't downloaded Untapped is I don't want that to bleed in.
Right.
So I don't want to do
Well,
that.
I think I tended to probably before rate honestly.
Yeah.
And now I know the people and it's like,
You know, you'd be like,
It makes it a
I
little-
like them and I want them to succeed.
Yes.
So I want to rate all of them high.
Yes. Yeah, that's
so
for sure.
yeah, it's just a good community.
So this, I believe, the beer we're having tonight is.
You haven't taken a sip yet, have you?
I have not. I'm waiting. I'm waiting on it. I like this beer. I'm just waiting on it. This was brewed for you, correct? This was your special thing that Mike
Yeah.
did for you, right?
He did.
You want to intro what we're drinking then? I'm handing it off to you. This is the first time.
Wow. Well, this is the Woody.
Yep.
And he mostly brewed this because I have a very big passion for peanut butter and dark beers.
Yes.
I'm a dark beer girl.
Yes.
So
So this is a chocolate and peanut butter porter. I do believe it is our original porter recipe with a ton of peanut butter in it, correct? Close. So I've got Mike here to give me all the stats for it, but yeah, peanut butter, and there is chocolate in the original porter though, correct?
No, there's like, we actually put more chocolate at the end.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
Cool. Nice. I did not know that. So something new. And that's something that also, and you're getting better about this too, because Colby, I also got to give him a little bit of props. You know, Colby's first real busy week he had to work was last week, and Thursday and Saturday. He got his butt kicked a little bit. And he did a good job, and it was cool to watch because that's just like you guys watching the brewery grow up. Like I'm watching Colby grow up behind the bar very quickly because he had to. I was like, go do this. And he's like running around Saturday getting stuff, but learning about the beer and stuff. I had people ask me, because I didn't know anything about craft beer before I started working here. And I actually was like exclusively a whiskey drinker before I started working here. And I really didn't mess with craft beer. I didn't mess with dark beer at all. I did not, like a year ago, well, about a year and a half ago, I would not drink that.
Basically
Really?
the same. 6
Yeah.
months ago, till we started the podcast, and I started being forced to try these things. Honestly,
No one's forcing
Yeah,
you.
it's good.
well, I mean, it's a good thing. Like I like, and it, from the first sip, I was like, wow, this is really good, and it was prodigious. I think
Yeah.
was the first dark beer
Is it
that
the
I had
one-
had
oh,
here.
I think it was the first
And-
beer we did.
And so I was like, wow, because normally I would never order something so stout, but
Yeah.
or something so dark. And after that, I mean, I started drinking more Guinness and things when I go out. I like grabbing a dark beer just to drink in general, and
Yeah.
now it's become one of my favorite kinds of beer
Yep.
in general. So
Same, I'll catch myself reaching for one of those instead of something else now. So,
It's a great winter beer too.
yeah, and
yeah.
but today's not really a winter day though. We picked this on a day like it's like one of the nicest, prettiest springy
but it's
days.
still peanut butter.
Yeah,
and
but the peanut
that's-
butter in it's great. This is fantastic beer. This is called Woody peanut butter chocolate porter. It just came back last Friday, and I'm pretty sure we'll have it on for a while. This is a good solid one. So that was the long thank you, 6 Cents Brewing,
Yeah.
the longest of all of this.
It's a good long one.
That's all right. So, Kelly, I would like to know, and I asked you before we started, I'd like to know about my perception of real estate, and what I know is a very male-dominated industry. From what I don't know anything about real estate really, other than the conversations we've had, but I don't know anything about it. So, starting a business in what I perceive to be a male-dominated industry, especially in a small town too, like struggles, issues, things that you've dealt with, just any stories you've got on that, because
And a small town you didn't grow up in.
yes,
Correct.
that too.
Yes, and that's a big thing. And
Yep.
actually, it's a compliment that you thought I was from here, because if it's really hard in a small town if you're not from there to fit in.
Yes.
They never say you're from there.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of one of those.
I think we're all three like adopted Jackson people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm from Gallia. You're
I'm from Beaver.
and you're.
Oh wow. Okay.
Did you say exactly where you're from?
I'm actually from Kingston, Ohio, which is
Kingston,
right
yeah,
below
cool.
Circleville. if
Yeah.
you
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. See?
I didn't know you were left-handed either.
No, yeah.
From
I was
so
just
much
saying
out.
that I'm taking the ceramics class, and I'm growing up. I'm in my mid 40s, so they were still trying to get you to switch your hands. So I learned
Yep.
a lot of things right-handed. So
Yeah.
this class has been really relevating, like trying to figure out.
That's the one in Athens, right? You want to tell us the story about the Athens trips? Colby hasn't heard the story of
I
the Athens. You don't
don't- yeah,
have to.
I don't know.
I know.
Which
Just-
ones?
I only know about one. I know about one. Was it you and Holly that went?
So Holly and I go every week.
Okay.
So we signed up for this class. Like you know me, I'm a workaholic.
Yeah.
I work a million hours a week, it feels like, and I love opportunities. But Holly said, I'm going to take this ceramics class. And I said, sure, I'll sign up. And, at that time, Holly and I really didn't even know each other that well.
Yeah.
We were just kind of like, real good friends with Nate. And I'm like, sure, I'll take it. And I was trying to get outside my box a little bit in 2019 because I was kind of stuck in a rut doing the same thing. And I'm like, if I hang out with different people and do different things, maybe I'll get excited in different ways. And so anyway, I signed up for this class and I said, holy crap, it's a Tuesday morning, not a Tuesday night.
I
was there today, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so normally I thought, I'd kick off early in the afternoons and take this class and come home. No, it's at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, geez.
So I've totally adjusted my schedule. And I'm like, I'm not a giver-upper. When I signed up for it, I'm like, I'm doing it. It's 8 weeks. So I get up pretty early on a Tuesday, get my real estate done early on, get my workout done, get ready to go enjoy my afternoon with Holly and get creative and then come back and do a little bit more work before I end the day.
Nice.
So
Did the wheels fall off at any point?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think we were talking about just something completely different. So.
No.
Yeah.
No, I just heard the story I heard was just that you guys went and had a little bit of fun, and then I think realized you need to rein it back in after the Tuesday afternoon fun day that happened.
We might have had a fun girls trip, a little,
Which is awesome.
a little day drinking going on. But you know what?
Athens will get you, man.
Athens will get you.
Athens will get you.
And I think you need to do that every once in a while. I think for me, creatively, it's kind of good to have a day where you're doing something a little different.
And you're letting loose.
Yeah, you're letting
completely.
loose. And I'm still answering. The beautiful thing about real estate is you can still answer your phone, you can still text, you can still work. Gone are the 9 to 5s where you have to be in the office sitting there all day long.
It's mobile now.
It's mobile. I tell people all the time, if I'm in the office, I'm probably paying bills.
Yep.
Or doing some type of marketing that I wish I was doing somewhere else.
Yes.
So, or I'm meeting someone.
And that's something, and I guess before we get to what I asked you, that's something that I love about today's world is, I come in here during the week and do all the posters and all the menus and all the things that I need to do for here, but I could literally do that anywhere. I mean, I would have to send the file to someone to print it if I wasn't here physically, but like I can do that anywhere because it is mobile, and with the internet, with
proper preparation, you can pretty much do anything.
Yeah, if I could just send it to Grant or send it to Mike, because anybody's got a computer, really, send it, put it on a flash drive, go print it, and put it up, and it's done. And really, it's a couple steps to do it, and like it's not hard to do. And even there's been times when. Before, a lot of times I would take pictures and DM them to Jamie or whoever to post. Mike's been airdropping things to me to put on social media and things like that. Like, and it's so easy to do that stuff now because we have the internet and airdrop and just technology that we have. And I love that because it frees you up to be able to travel and go do things, but still be able to answer that phone call and do the deal and do things. And that's one of the main reasons I picked up what I'm doing is I want to be able to travel and do stuff and still be able to make money and survive, but I want to be able to because I'm going to go on a trip next week. I can be on my computer all the way down to South Carolina editing something if I want, and then on the way back too, because I have the mobile computer that goes with me. And it's a cool thing that we have in today's world that even 10 years ago wasn't there. And well, I guess it was there, but not at the scale that it is now. And
I think as long as you're motivated and you're dedicated to what you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's easy just to dick around on your computer or your phone for hours and hours and hours and go like, oh, I didn't accomplish anything, but I was working. And I try really to make sure that I don't do that because I want to get things done as quick as possible. And it's hard to do all that and manage all the things that are coming in. But if you're focused on whatever task is at hand, it's doable.
Right, yeah, for sure.
Hey, Colby, are we on podcasting platforms yet?
No, but I brought my laptop today.
Good, let's do that after we're done. Anyway, so proceed.
Because I've not been bringing that laptop. It hasn't left my bedroom for a month. So today I was like,
just so you know, Colby, I'm not going to pressure you at all, but I've already downloaded it and I'm going to start doing my own for real estate, and it might be up and running before yours. So we'll see.
That's some competition now. Now I got to step it up. All right, let's do it.
Is this what it took to get Colby to get us online?
Probably.
I'm just kidding.
If she's up before us. Oh, man.
That'd be rough, wouldn't it?
Oh,
so when are you starting your podcast?
Is your song already up though?
Which one?
The song that you did. You said you were going to put up.
The one I didn't post it.
Okay,
my
never
buddy did. We were on his computer,
Okay, cool.
so I was able to
Are you actually
post that.
gonna? Sorry, or are you joking?
Well, no, I am actually going to be doing a lot more stuff. And I did a first really horrible short thing this morning that I put up there. But I'm just going to start. Gary Vee says, if you don't put it up there,
Yep.
it's like you never did it.
God, if we're gonna
Yep.
go down this rabbit hole,
There we
this
go.
is
I
all-
just,
So-
I
Did you
signed
see him
off.
move?
I just
Did you
went,
see him
I'm
move?
done.
Did you see him move?
Back
you
to
said
the
Gary
beer.
Vee, and Colby was like, "Oh God, I'm just gonna drink," and it's it.
I just know
No, you're
Matt's
right.
got
No, you're
you
right
guys
though.
are-
Yeah.
And I saw that today. I skimmed through it. And I meant to go back and watch it. I'm going to go back and watch it because it's no matter what you do, if it's good, it's going to win. But if
Yeah.
you don't put it out there to be seen,
Even if
it
it's bad.
loses. Yeah, even if it's
Yeah.
even if it's
Well, I
bad.
recognized something today. Last night I posted a tweet and it said something like, Ohio's potholes are bullshit or something like that, basically. And a bunch of people really liked it and they retweeted it. And I wasn't trying to do that. I was just mad because there were like potholes
Yeah.
that were tearing up my car's tires. And so I thought about it and I was like, why? I just kind of backtracked a little bit and I thought, why do some of my musical posts not get some of that same attention? And then
Yeah.
I thought, well, why did people retweet that? Because it's relatable. Am I writing
Yes.
music that is maybe unrelatable
Smart.
for some people?
Yeah. Yep.
And I think that maybe the way that I've been marketing my music isn't relatable for people. At least not to the crowd that I'm
Or
marketing
maybe
it
they
to.
just like that
So.
thought that was funny.
Right,
You
that's
know?
too.
And that's what
They're
Twitter's
true.
for,
Yeah.
really, more than
Yeah.
anything. And Roland loves this. I don't think Roland watches the podcast, but Roland pointed out to me Saturday night, very late, like 2 a.m. after we all left the bar here, closing down, that his photo was the most
his
liked
mustache,
photo,
yeah.
with the mustache and the stupid look on his
And
face.
he's just smiling real
Was, yeah,
big.
you saw it, right?
Oh.
Have you seen the close-up version?
Yes, and see, I laugh because to me that's not Rollin', but that was so funny.
But that's Roland.
Yeah.
That's how we know Roland as that though, but a lot of people that are in here consistently know him as that.
Yeah.
And that's stupid. Like that's one of the worst pictures I've ever taken, honestly.
Because he's such a good-looking guy.
Yeah, but like, he was
So-
purposely making himself look stupid, but like
I loved it that
but
he
yeah,
did that.
But it was relatable,
Yeah.
and it now is actually the second most liked post on our Instagram for all of time, I believe.
That's awesome.
Because I put up another one the next day that has the same picture, but it's not the cover picture. He's the second picture, so I guess it could be because of him too. So
Oh,
actually,
man,
I
he's
think,
gonna want more
yeah,
money now.
Yeah, I think he might actually be number one and number two.
Number one and two.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Anyways,
Yeah.
content is king. Doing
Yes.
stuff, putting it out
Yeah.
there. Sorry, we
Yeah. We got all
we were
that.
we were interrupting as normal.
But yeah, and so you saw that Gary Vee thing, and it immediately inspired you to, or you heard that quote from him, or
Yeah,
whatever
so
it was.
so
and-
kind of going back to the whole thing you asked me before about a man's world and real estate. The beautiful thing about real estate, it's actually more of a woman's world than a
Yep.
man's world, and people don't think that.
Yep.
A lot of men own the companies,
Yep.
but a lot of the women run the companies.
Yep.
So when I got into it, there were a lot of women and a lot of powerful women behind the scenes. And I got hooked up with some teams and I just learned. I soaked it in like a sponge. And I think when I got into it, it's kind of one of those opportunities where the market was about getting ready to fall.
Yeah.
And I was hungry.
Oh, I didn't think about that. You got in
Yeah, I was gonna
before-
say she went
I
through.
got in. So I got in before when it was real good.
Yeah.
Like you didn't
then the
have
bottom
to.
fell out.
I got into it when people were saying like they didn't even need the deals and they were coming to them like the money.
Oh,
they were
wow.
closing houses left and right.
Yeah.
You know, I never really was that experienced at that point. I was just getting into it and getting my feet wet, and then the market crashed, and I literally overnight became someone that was doing deal. And listen, we're in Jackson, Ohio,
Yep.
so our medium of homes are around about $100,000. I mean, really. So, but at that point in time, we were doing, you know, a lot of deals in the 300 range, 400 range. It was kind of the norm, and then the next thing you know, drop.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Bottom
like
falls out, done.
Bottom falls out.
See, and I was
What was it, like 2007,
2008?
2008?
Eight is when it really hit,
Yeah.
and then
that
there
was my senior year of college.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would have been your senior year of high school then, right?
No.
Junior year.
Nope.
Sophomore?
Nope.
No way.
That was my
Oh.
freshman year of high school.
Wow.
But I was a, what is it, Mike? Just a pup.
Yeah.
That's it.
Wow.
Yeah. So I saw it as an opportunity. You got to understand at this time, my kids are getting to the age where they're about all in school,
Yeah.
so I could go all in. I knew
Yeah.
what I was going to do. I was hungry. I never was going to stay at home like the rest of my life. I couldn't
Yeah.
wait to get back out there. That wasn't me. I love being in, I like doing deals. I like the feel of it. I like making money. I like the hustle.
Yep.
Hustle more than anything, really. And so this happens, and there's all these older agents all around me. And all they kept talking about was like, oh, the market's dropped, and I can't sell this anymore, and I can't sell that anymore. And I'm like, dang, what? I will go sell a foreclosure.
Yeah.
I will sell a double wide. I will sell whatever, because that's
Yep.
what brings the bacon home.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how do I specialize in it? And that's when I went.
Yep. But see, I think a lot of people, when they have a problem, see it only as a problem. And people that become successful see a problem as an opportunity
Yeah.
to create a solution or create multiple solutions. Or, I was talking to someone about his brother was in the military and had an issue with some piece of equipment, so he invented his own piece of equipment and ended up selling the equipment. And now, like, if you just search for that piece of equipment, it's like one of the top. It was literally the top thing that popped up when I searched that piece of equipment, and it was a very specialized search. But it was a problem that he turned into an opportunity by thinking about it the right way and the right mindset, instead of going like, oh, woe is me, the market's
Right.
out. I
Well, when
can't
your industry
sell.
gets hit in some form or another, it takes someone within that industry to kind of come back and be ingenuitive
Yeah.
and make the money and make it work again. Because
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to. Houses are going to be sold again.
Yes.
Sure.
You just have to find a way to, just like music with to relate to myself, with the whole downloading thing for a while, there were so
Oh, your
many
world went
issues
on
with
fire.
that. And it was terrible. No one was making money. They had to figure out what to do. And streaming services came around.
Yep.
And that saved a lot of people and record labels, really,
Yeah.
more than anything, rather than bands. It saved more record labels, I think.
Yeah.
And I've seen, now you don't see that many people who steal music.
Yeah.
I mean,
People are streaming it or they're
it's
downloading
just
it when they care.
norm,
Yeah.
they'll just listen to it on YouTube if they don't have it,
Yeah.
they don't care to pay for it. And that's the thing, is just making sure that you're ahead of that, because a lot of people get old and comfortable.
Yep.
Whether you're 60 years old or
Whether-
you're 20 years old.
Old and comfortable doesn't mean you're old. It
Yeah.
just
Right,
means it
exactly.
just means you stopped your hustle.
Yeah, it
Yep.
could be anything.
And stopping your hustle means you are whatever you think the top of your game is right then.
Yep.
You're not willing to go to the next level. And I get that with agents all the time. I'm pushing my own agents.
yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah, I mean, we had a staff meeting last night. It went super positive, but I'm not a good person to try to. I don't want to say we need to do this or we need to do that. And I always tell someone, do you, boo. Do the best you
Yeah.
can. So if you're the older person that has to go knock on the door for sale by owners, do it.
Yeah.
If Facebook's your hustle, do that.
Yep.
Do Instagram, do Twitter, do whatever but do something.
Something.
And my key is if you're not marketing yourself, why should I market you?
Yeah. Yep.
I agree completely. That's what I think I've talked on here multiple times. Part of bringing Colby in here is me stepping away from bartending so much so I can focus more on the media, because I haven't marketed myself hardly at all. Like, a lot of jobs have come to me because even today I had a meeting because they've seen the stuff that I've done for 6 Cents, and they went, hey, well, we want you to do other things for us, and we've seen that you can do video production and all that stuff. So a lot of things have come to me, but like that post today of Dallas and the post yesterday of you running, or Sunday or whenever that was, of you running, was like that's a stupid post, and it was
Right.
an outtake, but like, I need to start doing more.
The
because
funny thing
haven't
is, I think I'm
marketed.
in it like, shit, I didn't know I was supposed to run. Is
Yeah.
that the one where I
Yeah,
said that?
yeah,
I was
you cussed like 3 or 4
shit,
times.
I didn't
Yeah.
know I was running.
Yeah,
We were
no,
sprinting.
you're right. Like, no one's really going to do it for you. You have to go out and do it
Right.
yourself. So then my next question really is, what did you do then to get through that dip and that when the bottom fell out in 08? Like, what did you do then? Because you said that you saw an opportunity and went after it, but what, like, specific, maybe small tactics or just an overall idea, but like, what did you do to get through that, to get to where you are now?
So one of the biggest things I did is, and I still laugh, I keep this postcard at my house still. I have this short haircut, straight hair. I straightened my hair for a long time, and I had this postcard, And so before, I was in the marketing world and public relations, and I knew how to market myself, and I always wanted to get the next get. So I did this postcard of almost like, you know me as this in your community, now you should hire me as that.
Yeah.
And I started delivering that, and I asked General Mills for a meeting, and they were kind of like, what? And I said, can I have a meeting with you? Yeah. And I remember the other agents thought I was crazy, and I'm like, I'm going to win this account. I'm going to start being their relocation agent. And I got the relocation gig. I did that for a while.
For them going out to where they are now?
At General Mills.
Yeah.
So I started to end up like driving the relocation people. Back in the day, they would come in and stay for a couple of years, and you'd show them around. Employees.
Okay. I think you meant like the plant, because that plant's fairly new, is it not?
No,
The General Mills, it's been there for a while.
Yeah, it's Pillsbury before. It's been there before ever and ever. But what they didn't do is they didn't have someone that actually knew how to take care of their potential
relocation of employees.
Relocation employees in the proper way. And I had done that. I had been that. I had experienced that.
Yep.
So I knew how to relate to them. So I took them around. And on the flip side, I'm handling Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac accounts. I'm going to rekey places that I should have probably had a gun when I went to.
Yeah.
But I did it. And I hustled, and I wasn't scared. I wanted it really bad. And I wanted to prove to myself more than anything that I could make it work. And it just it's like one of those things. I can remember when I started, I knew that I needed 2 years.
Yep.
If I could just give myself 2 years,
Yep.
I would be okay. And I tell that to agents all the time. If you can't commit 2 years to something,
Yep.
it's not going to happen.
Yep. Yeah.
And after the 2 years, if you make it, then you catch fire.
Yep.
And there's this really weird bit of fire that catches. Happened when I started my own company. And you just have to always kind of watch it, and you have to just want it. And you have to, the people that are like, oh, I can't make any money, I'm going to go do something else. Well, then, dude, you don't have it.
Yep.
Gary Vee says, I will give you, and that's why I will mentor you. I'll give you any advice. Only 1% of those agents are going to take my advice and go kick my butt. I hope they kick my butt.
Yeah,
but they're probably not going to, because I'm going to be right out there doing it at the same time.
I gave away some equipment and had conversations with a couple of different people, and those people kept coming to me about like, I can't make any money, no one's going to pay me this much, and it's like, well, then it's either your own mentality about yourself or it's your work or something, because like you've got the stuff to do it. And actually I had a conversation Friday with somebody in here. They're like, well, do you have everything you need to make what you want to do? And I said, no. If I'm being greedy, I'd love for more money to be able to buy this $7,000 camera that I don't really need, but like I don't need that. It's more about me actually executing whatever project I have going on.
And then you get what you need for that project.
Yeah. And no, you're right. Like just going out there and doing it is the whole thing this was started on.
Yeah.
And actually executing it. This is now, I don't know if you watched last week. Last week was 4 months we've been doing this, which doesn't seem like a lot of time, but like,
wow,
it is.
That's
it's
crazy
4
to
months.
me.
This is now week 17.
Yeah.
But going out there and doing it is what's important. And regardless of, we've talked to people about podcasts. We've talked to people about this and that. We've talked to people about doing videos. We've talked to people, but the people that are actually doing it are the ones that are going to succeed. And that's why I'm so excited about the project that we're going to do with Jules, because we're planning and we're going to do it.
It's gotten so much closer too. That project is like, what, a week and a half, 2 weeks away now? 2 weeks?
Well, 3 full weeks away still.
Yeah, you're shooting at my house.
Yeah, we're shooting at your house. Yeah, where were you guys Sunday after me? You guys are actually
Anytime Jules asks me something, I say yes.
Yeah.
What do you want? What do you want? Yes.
Yes.
You can have it.
We're shooting there. We're shooting around town, a couple different places, and it's. You can mentor people all you want. You can give them information, but the people that are actually going to grab a hold of it and go do it are the ones that are going to succeed. And also, another bit of information I didn't know. You didn't start Kelly Wiley Realty until later on then.
No.
You were working for someone else then.
I worked for another company for years. I actually worked under them as a broker for an additional almost 2 years.
Okay.
So when I
also did not know that.
Yeah. So I worked for a franchise. I worked for ERA.
Yeah.
So I was I hustled and I was a partner with someone else, and I quickly grew up the ladder.
And you used to see a lot more of their signs around here. I mean, I'm not, saying whatever, but you used to see a lot more of ERA signs in town.
Yeah, I mean, that was back in the era where the franchises were huge, and that was kind of a big deal. And I never had, honest to God, never had any intention of going anywhere else. I really liked my job. I liked what I was doing. But there's a certain point where you just kind of know when you've got to go somewhere else. And the obvious choice for me was to start on my own. And, you say that like a story. I vividly remember someone saying, "Oh, Kelly, that's so cute."
Oh, does that not piss you off so much?
And it was kind of
That
like,
resonates with all of us very well.
So they jokingly called me a boutique. And I said, "I'll take that. A boutique is awesome." And they're like, "Yeah, boutique is small." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do that." Yeah. And in the back of my head, I'm like,
but small is nimble, and small can execute, and small can cut people's throats.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, I was humble, I was hungry, and I wasn't afraid. If I would have thought for a second what I had to lose, I would have been super scared. Yeah. But I went to bed at night hungry, and I had 3 kids, to feed. So I was like, let's do this.
Yep.
And honest to God, that's how I wake up every day. I love what I do. I love who I work with. I love not having to go to a 9 to 5. Yeah. And I honest to goodness love the people I work with. I have a lot of people that I work that flip homes, that flip different places, that buy and they sell, and they're just really good people. And they refer me to other people. And I don't always gel with people. I had someone say to me last week, I actually think this was a really good backhanded compliment. They said,
"Don't you love those?"
I do. They said, "I'm really surprised that person went with you because they don't like you at all." And I said, they don't have to like me. I sold their house. Yeah. We don't have to have a friendship. And I think that's a thing that people forget about with women. Women, a lot of times, feel like they have to have these certain relationships. And, you don't have to. No. Sometimes you can just go home and check out and be who you are. And it doesn't mean just because you're a girl, you're not an entrepreneur. Yeah. You can kill it just like a guy can kill it. And you don't have to be friends. Sometimes you just have to sell their house or help them buy a house.
That's really all that matters at the end of the day is the result. I mean, that's all that matters. But at some point, that is all that matters.
They're hiring me as a service.
Did you sell?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Did you sell the house?
That's
it doesn't
exactly
matter that I went to their kids' soccer game or that I supported something, and I'm huge local. I try to always support local. But that at the end of the day, did I get it done?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, that leads me to the next thing that I definitely, and this was actually suggested to me, but I know also in talks with you that that's something you're very passionate about. You've bought some places, flipped them. You're very passionate about your storefront and your office and all that, and helping the community and growing the community. And you said you're working with other people, that flip houses and stuff. So I'll give a little bit of backstory first before I go into where I'm going. So I'm from Gallia, and Gallia started those First Friday things, and those things are awesome. And they're fueled by, River City Leather last year, I think it was either October or November, had like a 50% off everything sale that had a line like 3 blocks down. People they buy 6 cents beer almost every single month to pour down there. People will get musicians and food and blah, 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 and they get liquor licenses, and the cops allow people to have like a block party kind of deal going on. And when I came, that had just really started when I moved from Gallia back up here. And I've lived both places before, but moved up here and there wasn't really anything going on. I was like, man, I wish there's something going on here. And I started working at the brewery, and you start hearing talks about oh yeah, we'd love to do this and that and whatever. And it's something that with the pub crawl that happened in December, there's one coming up here next month. That's something that I've tried to be a part of because I want there to be community stuff. And then now they're doing this First Thursday thing and all that. So, where, I guess the question would be, what do you want to do, and what's your passion about downtown and Jackson and revitalizing or improving or building the community? Where do you want to go with that? Because I love it too. My point is I see it, and I know it's necessary, and I want to do it. I'm not sure how. I don't know how exactly to make that happen.
Well, first of all, kudos to the Aarons at River City Leather. Yes. They are people that I look up to constantly and I feed off of, and I like being around them. Their energy is just so crazy. I think my passion for the downtown, when I walked into my building that I bought for the first time, Krista Brown, one of my dear friends and one of my top agents, we walked into this building. We're going to list this building. I don't have any intent of buying a building. You have to understand this. I have no intent. I'm happy. I'm actually in the back where our brewery is now.
And I meant to ask you that too, because
Yeah.
I've heard all kinds of stories about this place. And
Yes.
I've never remembered to ask everybody, like, what was this place?
Yeah, I didn't know either.
So
I've heard it was a garage. I've heard it was a bar. I've heard it was your office.
everything.
Everything.
Yes, yes, and yes.
What-
yes,
what
yes,
else
and
was
yes.
it?
Well, so yeah, it was
A gas company? I heard it was a
Columbia
gas.
Gas.
Was it the same headquarters that's out off?
Eons and eons. It was
Okay,
it was
cool.
Columbia Gas. Prior to that, I don't know.
So when I came into this, so a little bit of a background, Jennifer and I went to college together.
Yes.
So that's how we got to know each other. And at the point of time, she knew I was having a little bit of considering possibly going out on my own. Her and I were getting ready to take a trip we're sorority sisters, so we were going to go somewhere. And she said, we're really thinking about opening back up the Colonial. And we're thinking about calling it this. And you're not going to believe where we were actually at. My building that I purchased, we were having lunch. And my building that I'm in now
Yeah.
used to be owned by Janelle. She had Janelle Durham.
Another name.
And she had a little diner in there.
Okay.
And I loved it. I loved going into the diner. It was before it became, what was it before? The little pottery place, the little,
Both Amdas, then Janelle's,
Jeez.
in
We're
between.
getting a history lesson here too.
I know, it's
Colby.
a history lesson. So, but anyway, in between,
I
so
love it.
so we're sitting there, and I said, I think I'm going to do it. And I tell people this story. I drove around for like 3 weeks with my paperwork in my minivan that I was driving at the time that my kids were so embarrassed by because the doors wouldn't close. But I didn't want to let go of the company that I was with because I really liked the woman I was working for.
Yeah.
So I kept this in my pocket until it was time, until I really was ready to go. But the actual office that I purchased was the meeting that Jennifer and I had when I decided to rent the back of this building and start my own company.
Oh, wow.
And then fast forward 2 years later, I walk into this building to sell. And I look at it and I get halfway through the back and Krista goes, Jesus Christ, you're gonna buy it, aren't you? And my eyes were like all glittery, and she's like, you want this? And I said, I do. And I walked back up to the owner and I said, listen, don't list it, just give me a price.
Yep.
I want this. And I came back and I said, Mike, I think I just bought a building. And he's like, here we go.
Yep. And we're off.
And boom. And that's when it started. And the passion from then on, I mean, just like I went downtown, I love the feel of it. I love the vibe of it. And I
Yep.
thought everybody else should want this too. And we just started, like, you know, Charles Anders and his crew came and painted the outside this really bright, vivid color. And some people were complaining and some people loved it. And I thought, you know what?
It stands out.
Let's shake this town up
Yeah,
a
it
little bit.
stands out.
Yeah, and then other people followed. There were many, many people that followed after
Yeah.
me. I wasn't the first. I wasn't the last. I was somewhere in between. But ever since then, I just can't let go of it. My passion is the downtown, and I love the buildings. We're redoing another one right now, and I will continue on. And I think the point of it is that I see people living downtown. I see them walking downtown and being part of it. And I think this community can grow bigger than it ever has.
I agree.
And I also think let's keep people here that are from here. Let's not make them feel like they have to move to a bigger city to feel like they're in a city.
That's the hard part, and also just to feel like they can do what they want to do with their
Yeah.
lives is so many people think that you have to leave. And there's nothing wrong with going away and learning,
Sure.
and then coming back and applying those things. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But at some point, I think that the people from around here, not everybody, I mean, you know, one town isn't for everybody, but we need to just put down our own roots and be a little prouder of the land that we have.
We do, and I think little tiny things that we can do differently, and we've been trying to do it and breaking the mold is, you know what? I'm gonna go have a beer on my lunch hour.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Being yourself in
Yeah.
general, just being comfortable with
Yeah.
seeing people out and not being like, oh, that's Kelly Wiley and
Is she
she's
dr- is she
drinking
drunk at
beer. Do you think
noon?
she's
Yeah.
capable of running her own business?
Right.
Like things like that
Yep.
that people do second guess for no reason. I mean, there's
Right.
literally no reason.
Yeah, 'cause
How
you go anywhere else. You go to Athens. That's commonplace.
Norm.
It's
Total norm.
And
Yep.
Athens isn't. I mean, it's bigger.
Well,
but
I
it's
mean,
not
you
that much
go
bigger
to
than
DC.
here.
How many lawmakers go on their break and they go to happy hour?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong
And
with
I don't
it.
care if you're drinking or not. I don't care if you're doing espresso or green tea or whatever.
Yeah.
Just get out of
Get
your
out.
norm
Yeah.
and do
Yeah.
something and meet new people. And that's my biggest goal for 2019. Just get out there and meet
Yeah.
people.
And I think so I lived in Jackson from 2010 to 2013. And when I was here, the only thing really to do that I knew about at least was Johnny's and the pub. And
Yeah.
then that was basically it. I don't think that Rowdy's was not around. Archenetti's opened the month after I left Jackson. There wasn't anything really, at least that I knew of. There might have been other things to do, but at that time.
And I was a kid,
Yeah,
so we were just
You
running
were
our
still in
own
diapers,
stuff.
so-
So
I didn't know of anything, but coming back now, and then of course being a part of the brewery, this is a very unique space and a very unique thing in this town. And people come here wow, especially traveling through. I hear it constantly. Wow, we never would have expected a place this nice here in this town. It's the town's nice. There are spots like any town where you don't really always want to go. This area, the downtown area, is nice. There's lots of places. There's Michael's, Archenetti's here. There's the whole drag Broadway, correct? No, Broadway. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Broadway. You're on.
Yep.
That whole drag has beautiful businesses and storefronts, all that. Main Street down here is
South
pretty.
Street has gorgeous houses.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things that and there's people running around town.
Yeah.
People have their dogs out. People are, just enjoying what is around them.
Yeah, so it's
And
cool
there-
to be back.
And there's a
see
lot
all
of
that.
really smart entrepreneurs that live here that
Yeah.
people aren't really paying attention to, but man, they're smart.
Yeah.
I'm walking into houses now that people are buying and that they're redoing and they've got these great visions and it's they're beautiful and they're doing a great job and I'm like, thank God they live here. I mean, they're really helping. You know what? I empower everyone to buy a house,
Yeah.
to get their first house, to do whatever. And I love the fact that it's not just becoming a place where old people live.
Yeah.
Younger, hipper people are purposely picking this place to live.
Mm-hmm.
And I see it getting bigger and better, and I love it.
Yeah, and I want to be a part of that. That's why I mentioned the pub crawls and
Yeah.
they did a chocolate walk last month. That's called Leprechaun Leave this month, and any small things we can do to get the community out doing stuff. I think.
Well,
is
my
awesome.
generation
passionate
has
people.
Yeah.
switched sides of town. Because when I was a kid, teenager and stuff, you went to Walmart because there was, in our mind, there was nothing to do.
Walmart.
And you would just walk around Walmart and hope you ran into people that you knew, and that was small town,
Yeah.
But now that we're older, there are places like Six Sense.
Yep.
You can go to Archenetti's.
Yep.
You can go Michael's Ice Cream.
Yep.
You can go to the Spot. There are so many different places you can go, and you can talk to people just as well. You can run into people.
Yeah, and people are living downtown now.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
a new executive craze, and people, are taking advantage of it. They're renting these places above businesses.
Yep.
They're walking downtown, and they're really enjoying their lifestyle.
That's what I told you. If I were a little bit more secure financially, I would definitely have rented the place the first place, I believe it was the first place, right?
Yes.
The above your office. I would have rented that in a heartbeat. It's a beautiful space.
Yeah, you shot it for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful space. Just very, very, very well done. I don't know if you
Thank
ever saw
you.
it. It's very well
Is it
done.
directly above your place?
It is above my.
When was
yes.
it finished?
We finished it last spring. I think we rented
Is
it
the
last
one that
July.
Cody and them were running their shirts out of before that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been in there when they were
They were upstairs?
So, see, you don't know everything about me.
No, I don't know
I'm a
anything
hustler.
about
That was
Anything
actually before I
apparently.
knew
Yes.
you. I just knew your name.
So
and
we had the
whatnot.
upstairs. It was empty for 2 years after I bought my down. You don't understand. I bought my downstairs, and back then people didn't want to loan money for you to redo buildings.
No.
So we scraped and opened that downstairs up, and then we saved to do the upstairs, and we had to fund that upstairs ourselves too because the banks at that time they didn't really want to do anything with the downtown. Now it's completely changed.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're getting all kinds of loans and benefits. It's great. But back then it was different. And I knew I wanted to do an apartment, but we didn't have the money. And we also didn't have the time right then.
Yep.
And so we got an opportunity to buy a screen printing company.
I knew that.
And so we moved that upstairs. That
didn't
was
know it was
where my
upstairs.
apartment is now.
Okay.
And we had a little run of different people working it, but basically Josh Richter took it over,
Yep.
and him and Cody, and that's how
Yep.
we met Cody, who was our bartender,
Yeah.
and they printed our shirts for us,
Yep.
and that was the first beginning of.
See, and Richter was my old roommate.
Okay.
So it's interesting how, and then,
Yeah.
Cody worked with you.
Yeah.
Did he work with you or
Yeah,
around the
Cody-
same time?
Cody worked beside me, and then eventually when I took over managing the tap room, I guess was an employee, but like never really viewed
Right,
it as that.
right.
But yeah,
Yeah.
and I met Richter through all that. Richter was here Saturday, man. He had a lot of fun.
He had a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Richter, if you watch this, you had too much fun, buddy.
He was like, he texted me later after the
yeah,
thing.
okay.
He was like, "Is my camera at the brewery?" I said, "Buddy, I don't think so. I think you took it
Nice.
with you."
He did that last time he came here and had a little bit of fun. It was in the trunk of his car.
Yeah, I think that's where he put
and he
it
texted me
again.
like 4 different times. Like, yo, is my cat? I'm like, check your car, bud. You took it with you. It's not here. No, I didn't know it was out of the upstairs. And I
Yeah.
didn't know that Cody and Richter were working.
Upstairs in our place.
didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
None
We
at
did
all.
that for a while. We printed for the brewery for a while
Yes.
until they got enough money to buy the equipment from me, and then they
Yeah.
moved it to Chill Coffee, and that's
Yeah.
when we did the apartment.
Yeah,
So that was the beginning of that phase.
Yeah, well, what got us all on that is I would 100% rent that place or another place downtown because I want to be able to walk.
It would be nice just to live downtown.
Walk
in
to the
general.
spot in the morning. Go walk down to Jules, get my hair cut. Walk to go get lunch. Walk to go whatever business I need to get to. Like there's I want that, and
Yeah.
it's not. It in my perception at least was not available before, and it's becoming available now. And even in Gallia, it wasn't really available before, from my perception at least. And now it is available. It's
Right.
everywhere. And kudos again to the people that are doing it.
Absolutely.
The River City Leather people, Rocket 7, Rocket Q, and those people. Like, there's a bunch of people that are working together to do that down there. I think it's what it's going to take here is
Yeah.
people wanting to get together and do that.
All it takes is 10 people who give a fuck in general in a town.
Yep.
And 10 people who have worked a little bit and have a little foundation under themselves. And then in no time, you have a community back.
Well, I think it also takes someone, because a lot of times people say, well, it didn't work that way before, so we don't want to try it. Well, you know what? How about we try it again?
Yeah,
How
because the
about we
whole
try
world
it-
has changed.
How about we try it a different way? And maybe there is such a thing as a business after business.
Yeah.
You know, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's try it.
Yep.
There people are ready to try something new.
Yeah.
Well, that's like, I'm not trying to be critical of the things that are going on because I'm happy that the things that are going on, this, Chocolate Walk, Leprechaun Leap, and all that stuff. But in looking at what's popular and what's working in other similar towns like Gallia, where Chili Coffee's bigger, but still,
Yeah.
the downtown stuff is more driven by, food and music and alcohol and like social events, and of course River City
It's
Leather.
pulling people into
sales
the
and all that
places
stuff.
that are there already.
Yeah.
Like all those businesses are already there.
Yeah.
It's just getting people's attention and
Yeah,
saying,
there's-
hey, come in here.
Yeah, they're staying open, they're getting music, they're having food, they're whatever. And like, I think that's kind of the direction that, at least from my perspective, that we need to go with this downtown area is find a way to make a block party happen. Find a way to make, and 6 cents can pour beer, and you can have Arch and Eddie's cater or whatever.
Well, then
like,
that also makes people who own a storefront want to take more pride in that storefront.
Yeah.
No matter, because people are walking by it more.
Sure.
People they're looking more, and they're comparing from one to the
you
other.
get Dallas Craft to play, and like,
Yeah.
people love him, man.
Yeah,
man.
he's such a
so
cool
good.
dude.
He's so
People
good.
are- yeah,
Yeah.
people were loving
He's
him
probably
Saturday.
one of my top. Him and Devin are probably
Yes.
my top faves
Yeah.
here that I kind of get
Those
goo-goo
are-
eyes
And
for.
just all the
Yeah.
loop stuff that Dallas does, like from a musician standpoint, dude, he's so talented.
Yeah.
I was glad that I was running the food
Yeah.
because as I would go in and out, I could hear the music, but then I could also see it, and I'd just be hearing all of these interesting guitar parts going on and singing parts, and then I'd come back in and he's just holding his guitar, and I'm like, he's running that loop pedal
Yeah.
really, really well.
Yeah,
and-
really well.
Yeah.
No, but again, let's block off some downtown area and get a Dallas. Someone else get somebody else. And then
Yeah.
you've got, the pubs right there. Have the pub have music and have some kind of special, and 6 cents take jockey boxes down.
Well,
or
I mean,
whatever,
you
like-
see how
but-
successful the Apple Festival is,
Yeah.
and that's basically all that it is.
Yeah.
I mean, all it takes is
And-
what you're
and
saying right
and
now.
rides.
Yeah.
And rides
Yeah.
and fair food and all that.
Yeah, but if you have an event, I mean, food's there.
Yeah.
You can. There are people that all it takes is like basically what you're saying right now and saying it to more people.
Yep.
That's
True.
it.
Well, I've been saying it to a bunch of different people, and then I was at the downtown, what do they call it? So Jackson Downtown Association meeting a couple weeks ago. What they call themselves now. I was there representing 6 Cents and Arch and Andy's because we need someone to go figure out what the hell was going on with the chocolate walk, really. And they were talking about tons of ideas. Someone said, well, let's have a block party. And the biggest thing is where to do it. And then can you block this off? And can you block off Main Street? And like, well, the Apple Festival does it, but can we do it too? And all the logistical stuff.
I'm proud of them. They're thinking about this,
but they're talking about it.
And that means
Yeah.
at some point things are going to get figured out and it'll happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And is it Randy Heath? Is he the mayor? Mayor? Yeah, he was there. A bunch of the downtown business owners were all there. I'm literally the youngest person in there. I'm like, I walk in and my tendency should probably be to shut up and not say much, but they made everybody introduce themselves, and I was like, Matt Brinker, I am Matt Brinker Productions, I manage the bar at 6 Cents, blah, 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 and then they were asking questions about ideas, and I was like, well, we have the pub crawl, and we could do a block party and this and that, and throwing out ideas, and everybody's kind of looking at me kind of funny, and then the funny thing was, after that, people kept coming up to me and going like, oh yeah, like, we could do this, we could do that, and so I was like, well, I probably should be quieter about this stuff, but someone needs to be loud about it.
It just takes
Whoever it
one.
is.
Yeah.
Whether it's you or you or whoever it is, but be loud about it because it is important that we bring that to downtown here.
that's why I've noticed lately I've seen more people applying for public office than normal, like just in general, people that I don't know, it's awesome to see that, because whether or not obviously not everybody can get one office or another, but just to see people taking that interest and saying, hey, I want to step up. I have ideas that I think I could change the area a little bit. And that's great, because those arguments challenge whoever's in contention, their thought in general. And when you're challenging people's thoughts, you're thinking, how can I make my argument better? And I think that helps shape the community a lot better as well.
I always had a thought that if you can make it in a small town, you can make it anywhere. So people think that it's a big city, you can't do it. It's just so not true. If you can make people in a small town like you and respect you and use you, you can make it anywhere. So it's like a platform. So like if young people here, if they're hungry, do it. Ask someone to mentor you. Ask to be part of something. If you can make it here, when you go somewhere else, you can do, like what you can do.
Really, all it is
amazing.
It's just a
new
different
connections to
scale.
new place.
That's all that it is. It's the same thing, making new connections and just scaling it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Saying, okay, well, I have 50 people who support me here. Let's get 100 here.
Yeah.
200 here.
Aidan, are we close to the hour, right? Yeah. Cool. I completely agree, and I want to see more going on here, and like that's, I actually was frustrated at one point last summer and tweeted something that I don't know how it got brought to your attention, but you saw it and you called me.
Because I watch everything.
Yeah, well, you called me and was like, you probably shouldn't do that, and I was like, I was still pissed whenever you called me, and
Rightfully so.
and I'm still a little bit agitated that what went down and why. Like, it's in the past now, but like, still, like, why would you do that? But I was angry and tweeted something, and I shouldn't have. And you talked me down, and I immediately deleted the tweet and was like, you're right, you're correct. And then since then, really have viewed like this is a platform for me. Like managing the tap room, people see me all the time. They see me here, out and about, whatever. And it's an opportunity for me to affect some kind of change if I can do it the right way. And I don't know if it's me or if it's you or whoever it is, but like I want to be a part of whatever happens in the downtown area here. And it's because I want cool shit to happen here.
Yeah.
Because I want to be able to do fun stuff.
Well, you don't want to have to drive an hour and a half to support someone else's town.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous. We shouldn't have to do that.
I think that if people just look at it as a way to stop being so negative, let's just be around positive people. And when someone says something negative, it's almost like you need to call them out on it now and just say, if you can't be positive, I don't want to hear it.
Well, I love when people complain about the area and then I say, well, do you litter?
Yeah.
If you're littering, you're literally making the world a worse place. I mean, you're.
How do you feel about plastic straws?
I don't have an opinion on it because I've
Okay.
not studied it. I know.
that randomly popped into my head because I thought you would have some kind of heated opinion.
Floor, yeah.
Yeah, I just
I just thought you would have some kind
it's
of.
not affecting me at the moment, and I've
okay.
never taken any interest in learning
Well,
any more
space isn't
about
really
it.
affecting you either, and neither are. I mean, time's affecting you, but
Time's never affecting
Anyways.
me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not starting that.
Yeah. You were finishing a thought about
Something.
littering.
But really, I mean, that it comes down to that. It's if you want work done, do the work yourself. And I lived in a gorgeous town in Arizona, and I'm not getting into that, but I lived in a really gorgeous town, and it was because every day the people woke up, they got on their golf carts, and they went around, they picked up whatever litter was there, which was hardly anything. They would pick up animals if they were dead. If there was anything that made it look any less than attractive, it was gone before 8 o'clock that day, every single day. And so I would drive, and I'd come home, and I'd be like, why do people just throw this stuff out?
Yep.
Why does no one have any
Taking
pride?
pride in what you're.
Of course,
what
it
you're
made my car really messy because I never litter now, and I just throw it in the back seat. So that's
God.
almost the same argument in my own car. But at the same time, it's just like if we would just take that little bit more effort
Yep.
and put it towards ourselves and towards our town. I mean,
Agreed.
I think it's something that can happen, and it's going to take.
I think it is happening.
I think it is.
I
asked,
agree
yeah.
100%
I think it's
because-
starting.
Yeah.
And with the energy, like I said, the energy was not weird, but like again, I'm kind of the new guy and I'm the youngest person in the room, so it feels weird to me no matter what, because I'm self-conscious about it. But people were talking about doing something positive and getting people out, and I think the ideas are there and the initiative is there, and we need some kind of positive direction that's going to be. It's going to be effective because it's easy to, and the coolest thing too, the flyer for the one that's happening next week, next week, at the bottom said, hey, we don't want to keep doing the same thing again, pretty much, I'm paraphrasing, but we don't want to do the same thing again, so what can we do different? Who has ideas? What's next? Like, what's different?
see, that's awesome.
And that when I read that, I was like, good. They know that we can't keep doing the same thing over and over again because this is now similar to the last one but different. So now, like, what's going to happen in April and then in May and then in June? And if
I love it.
Yeah, if that gets changed, then I think by the end of summer we're going to have something rolling.
Are we just pinching people? Is that all we're
Pinching
doing?
people?
They don't
Oh,
wear
God.
green.
No.
They come in here and
Please
we
don't
just
pinch
pinch them.
people
I'm
when
going to
they're not
pinch
wearing
every
green
single
here.
person.
No, it's
Here's your beer.
There's
Dare I say, change is a coming.
change is coming, yes. Well, and like you said about being proud of things, that's something that I, even from the first day I started bartending here, wanted this place to be somewhere I was proud of because I needed it. And we've talked about that many times in here. I needed this place when I came here. And I still do. And I love this place.
And that's
So-
how I feel with where I'm at right
yeah,
now.
and that's why watching you last week was actually really cool to me because, you made a bunch of money Thursday in one day of working for not that long, and that doesn't happen normally. And
Yeah.
that's really cool. And I was in a similar place. I don't know if I told you the story. He made a decent amount of money in tips Thursday, and watching him, like I counted it out and gave it to him. And he was like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, like that's yours. You earned that today." And I think he said something to the effect of, "That's most of my paycheck for a whole week at the other place." And I was like, good. Like that's what I needed when I came here last year. That's what I needed, and now it's doing the same thing here. So kudos.
That's local people supporting local
Yep.
people.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why I brought him in here because I knew he needed it, and because I knew that I made a promise to a friend that helped me about a year and a half, 2 years ago. She said that it's like I can't thank you enough. If I can ever repay you, she said, don't worry about you paying me. Just if you ever get the chance to help somebody like helped you, do it. And that's why like bringing you in has been cool for me, and that's why I'm forever indebted to this place because I needed it too. So, quick thank you again to you and Mike,
Yeah.
Jamie, and Jennifer.
Yeah,
everybody.
thank
Like
you
this,
guys for welcoming me
This is a special
too.
place, and I think this place could really maybe not lead the charge, or maybe it doesn't need to lead the charge of whatever happens next in the downtown, but it'd be cool
I
if it
think
would.
just be part of
It's
it.
definitely
I think
gonna
it's
be a
just
part of it.
I think it's just a hey, we're here.
Yep.
And let's do something about it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to share, Kelly? Anything else extra, more? What do you have coming up in the horizon?
We've got a lot coming up. We're excited. I'm kind of going this new phase of just rebranding Kelly Wiley. I've built Kelly Wiley Realty for 5 years, and now it's time to rebrand myself.
Yep.
I'm hungry.
Yep.
I got kids to feed. I got kids in college. So
Yeah.
You got college tuition to
I
pay
got
for.
college tuition to pay for, and I'm just hungry. I love it. I love real estate.
Yep.
I love the downtown. I love the area. I'm proud to be here, and I've got goals.
Yep.
I got a boat to buy.
Yeah.
Got a boat
So
to buy.
I got a boat to
Yes.
buy.
Life goals. I want to be on a boat.
It is one of my life goals, and
Yeah.
I know what I want, and I've been on it for a while. It's a journey, and Mike and I have talked about it, and one of the main reasons I think he and I gel so well together is like we have these goals and we know what we want, and we're best friends. And at the end of the day, I think you really need that in your life.
Yep.
I empower people to find that with someone else,
Yep.
and just go for it. Find good friends, laugh a lot, and enjoy where you're at.
Yep.
And if you don't enjoy where you're at, find some place you enjoy.
Yes. Then change.
Yeah.
If the circle you're
Yeah.
in is not supporting you, change it. And if you're not enjoying where you are,
And
then
if you're
change
not
that too.
positive, if you can be positive first, other people around you will become positive.
Yep.
And if they're not, dump them.
Yep. And I think it's a good message to end on. So thank you all so much for watching. Aidan, you can really just threw me off with that dab. I wish everybody could see. Yeah, he just like hit me with
I was like looking at the camera
Aidan's
so I
got
didn't
some
see
good
it.
dabs.
Aidan, come on, man, you can't diss me. Thank you all for watching. Links will be in the description as usual. Don't do it again. Oh my god. Links will be in the description as usual. I'll probably forget Aidan on purpose this time for messing me out. Thank you so much for being on.
Thanks for having
And
me.
we'll see you guys
Thanks,
next
guys.
week. Aidan, don't cut the camera yet. And yeah.
I have to pee again, per usual.